Hey, how's everybody doing today? Well, I wanted to share something with you. Today is Cinco de Mayo. It is a celebration of La Batalla de Puebla. For those of you that don't know, uh, the Batalla de Puebla happened in the second intervention, the second French intervention in Mexico. The In the first intervention, which was in 1861, Mexico owed the French some money, so the French came over to try and collect, and then they just stayed. And then, of course, they didn't know really what to do with Maximilian, so they said, "Why don't you go ahead and stay there in Mexico and set up a monarchy?" Some Mexicans were for it, believe it or not, but most were not. But what I want to talk about today is what I find that many times very offensive as how people treat Cinco de Mayo. They treat it like St. Patrick's Day. Uh, they wear their sombreros and they drink margaritas and they make fool of themselves. Cultural appropriation of just, you know, I can go ahead and take this holiday and do what I want to with it, even though I don't know what it is. Make a fool of myself and uh, make a mockery of somebody else's culture when I have little or no understanding of what they're doing. But with that said, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't celebrate Cinco de Mayo if you want to. By the way, it's not a very widely celebrated holiday in Mexico. It is pretty much a mainstream marketing holiday in the United States, where a bunch of people go out and get drunk and act like fools, like you know St. Patrick's Day. By the way, I don't go out and get hammered on St. Patrick's Day. If I want to do something cultural, well, I don't know. I guess maybe I would make some corned beef and cabbage or something. I would do some research. But if you insist that you do want to celebrate Cinco de Mayo for your own purposes, for your own whim or whatever it may be, then go ahead. Okay, I'm not saying that you shouldn't. But just be respectful and don't take everything away from us. You know. Um, Now, if the cool thing about it is that Puebla, where the battle happened, La Batalla de Puebla, and the hero is Anastasio Zaragoza, who was born in Goliad, Texas. The cool thing about Puebla is that Puebla was actually a pre-Columbian street food center. It was already a culinary, culturally rich area where people would eat, but they wouldn't eat tacos and they did not drink margaritas. Margaritas is a American creation, not a Mexican creation. Okay, and they didn't go around eating ground beef tacos with copious amounts of comino and that kind of deal. That comes later. The taco actually is a creation of the border, and from the border it makes its way south. Okay, that's really what it is. And the reason that the taco is so incredibly popular in Mexico is because of mixtamal, or the tortilla, which is served as a spoon. Remember when your mom used to tell you, come con tortilla porque nunca vas a llenar? Yeah. So, yes, Puebla is the gastronomic capital of Mexico. And the chef from Santa Fe, Rick Bayless, kind of put it on the map, but I kind of don't care for him because he spent a lot of time in Mexico and gathered a bunch of recipes from these people and these little vendors and stuff. Then he went to Santa Fe and opened the restaurant and, sells these dishes for an outrageous amount of money. I have been to his restaurant. The food is good. But, I mean, what did he do for the people of Mexico? What did he do for these people? And by the way, the people in Mexico, these people that sell this food, they're getting they're not willing to share that information anymore because I think they're being exploited. But the other guy that also went was Matt Bittman. Okay, now if you want to celebrate Cinco de Mayo and you want to make culturally authentic dishes for Cinco de Mayo, then there are three dishes that come out of Puebla. Now I know that there's a lot more. but there's three dishes that come out of Puebla and Cholula. And the deal here is that they actually are not like anything from Monterrey or what you'll see in, Jalisco or Guadalajara with tacos de canasta and all of the other things. The first thing that you have is mole poblano, right? They even have a pepper, poblano pepper named after them, right? So make yourself un mole poblano bien servido, con chocolate, sesame seeds, arroz, and then of course you have your queso fresco on the top. But that's one. By the way, there was a lot of monasteries in that area, and it is rumored that the nuns came up with mole poblano. So your first dish would be mole poblano, okay? Margaritas don't go well with mole poblano, okay? Now the other one, by the way, mole was, I guess, refined by the nuns, but the Aztec and the Native American Colombian cultures were already eating the mole paste. I believe, from what I understand, is that with the introduction of the chicken into Mexico, then it was combined. The paste is combined with the roasted chicken, and thus gives rise to mole poblano. Okay. The other thing is going to be chalupas. I mean, chalupas in Puebla are like tacos everywhere else, but a lot of times the tortilla, the actual chalupa itself, is not like real crispy like the ones you get at the store. They're crispy and soft. So, you can't really bend it, but it is. So they're very thick. Okay. And they usually have a blanket of really thick salsa and then some meat on top. It's kind of like an open burrito. But chalupas are very, very, very Puebla directed. So that's another one that you can make. And that one's simple. I mean, you name it. Now the third one is a little bit more complicated. Okay, and it does have the accent of Europeans. And this one was actually when Agustin de Iturbide signs the independence papers. This is in 1821. Um, he is given a dinner of chiles en nogada. I can never pronounce that, right? And it's basically un chile relleno, and it's got a really heavy white cream sauce. And then, of course, they put some pomegranate seeds on top of it. And that is the dish itself. The chile in there with all the food, with all the queso, the papas, or whatever it is. That's have to be post-Columbian because there was no papas in Mexico prior to first contact. And they were in Peru, but they hadn't made their way to Mexico. So that is, and now how you make the chile, that's the cool thing. You can deep fry it, you can grill it, you can, however you want to. But, chile en nogada is, quintessentially, from what I understand, uh, that is, I have had chiles in nogada, and I forget the name of the restaurant that I had them in Mexico City in. It's a real fancy restaurant. As a matter of fact, I told somebody I've eaten there before, and they said, "No, you haven't." It's like, what, are you the only one that can eat at a nice restaurant? I don't know. But this is a culturally, a dish that would be, these three dishes are what hamburgers and hot dogs are to the 4th of July, when I really believe that hot dogs and hamburgers have nothing to do with the 4th of July. It's just a convenience of it. Um, so there you go. If you want to pay attention to me, fine. If you don't, then make a fool of yourself. But remember, you got to leave something that is ours to ours. Y'all can't take everything away from us. You know what I mean? And when I say you all, I mean, I don't know who it is. The people that are going to make a fool of themselves tonight. I don't know. You all take care, be kind to each other, and make sure that you wear your mask.